Howdy all, it's Trader. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're back continuing our never-ending quest to build the world's biggest guard army. Now today we're going to start a multi-day project of building and painting 6 Baneblade style tanks. This is going to be for the Nova Open. We'll be part of a narrative event and part of a massive Titan battle. To give you some more details, next we're going to watch a video from Christopher, who is one of the owners of the Nova Open and runs their narrative events. So listen to him, he's going to talk, and then we'll get into the hobby part.
Hi, Chris Stover here from Nova Open, and I run the Nova Open Grand Narrative. So what is the Grand Narrative? The Grand Narrative is a ton of different experiences that you can have, and it starts with the different formats of gameplay that you can play and the different levels you can play that at. So first off, the formats. So we have your traditional Warhammer 40K, and that's going to be your main Grand Narrative experience, the core storyline. That's going to be 2 games a day over 4 days, culminating in a final event on Sunday. But beyond that, we also have a special operations. So that's going to be your night games. So if you want to participate in Warhammer 40K 3 times a day, all day, you can. That's open to you. Or if you're just someone who's really interested in a narrative experience, but there's a lot of other things that you want to experience at the con, that's fine too. You can sign up for Special Ops Night Games. That's going to be a Warhammer 40K event that uses all the same rules and immersion as the standard Warhammer 40K, just a single isolated event that's happening at night. Now, beyond that, we have some really cool special offerings that are happening this year. We have our massive Titan battle. So that's going to be a little different from the experience of the past. So in the past, generally, it was the Titans Owners Club and a few other folks who have Titans coming together and having just a Titan battle. This year, we are kicking it up a notch. So you can have the Titans Owners Club all on one side, and for the folks who want to play on the narrative side of the house, either our good guys or our bad guys, or depends on who you are, the bad guys and the good guys, you can play any of your massive vehicles that don't see a lot of time getting off the shelf, and put those on the table and go out there and try to hunt down some Titans. So that's one of the events that we can have. That's also a night event. We also have, for the first time this year, a new orc-themed event. So that's going to be kind of a Fury Road type of event where we've got a truck heading down a desert landscape with potentially some loot on board that you might want to have. And we're going to have some custom orc vehicles going after it. So if you really like modeling orc vehicles, really customizing those vehicles from any sort of Imperial vehicle or Eldar vehicle, Tau, whatever it is, and kit bashing those things into some custom orc goodness, that's the event for you. We're going to run that a couple of times over the weekend. And then we also have Kill Team. And there's actually going to be 2 formats of Kill Team this year, which is going to be really cool. So first off, like last year, there's going to be a Kill Team narrative event. That's on Thursday. That's going to be setting up kind of the shaping of the battle space for the actual core narrative itself, where our Kill Team partners are going to play Kill Team missions, trying to infiltrate different sectors within the system that we're playing in, and setting up booby traps, or setting up forward observing positions, or being able to just impact what's happening on the battlefield at any given time. Second format of that is actually going to happen concurrent with the big Titan battle. So within this massive battlefield, and we're talking about a large floor area, probably 20 foot by 20 foot, there's going to be small areas that are going to be contested via kill teams. And those are going to have massive impacts on certain aspects of that Titan battle, such as giving respawn points for one of the factions, or giving additional bonuses to the Titan fire, or maybe even taking it away if you need to. So things like that. So really having an impact on that battle. And then that Titan battle, in turn, will be impacting the final day of the core narrative, setting up kind of the end conditions for the last day of the narrative. So that's all the formats that you can play, and there's a lot of different levels that you can play at too. So I mentioned before, if you don't want to play the full narrative experience, you've got Spec Ops, you've got the Kill Team, you've got the Titan battle, but also within the core narrative, there's a couple of different formats for that too. So if you just want to come in and play, want to experience the narrative, be part of a team, you get to do all of the things that are within the custom missions or within the kind of group decision-making space. You can sign up as an LT. LTs get to play in all but one of the core narrative missions, and then they get to interact with their warlords, they get to interact with their teams, and they get to help drive how their faction is progressing within the campaign. Or if you want the full narrative experience, we have the Warlord package. So as a Warlord, you get one battle before the campaign event begins. That's the Warlords only battle. So that's your opportunity to get accustomed with your paired up Warlords, with your faction as a whole, maybe get an early look at some of the new tables, some of the new missions, and be able to play those ahead of time so that you can help guide your team. It's also a really good opportunity to just kind of give some lip to the other team and start laying the groundwork for that conflict that's happening between the two factions, if you're into that sort of thing. So those are the opportunities you have to play, and hopefully we see you there.
Okay, so you all heard from Chris, and he can explain everything better than I can, but he explained you the narrative, which is awesome. I've always supported it. Actually, funny story, I played in the very first narrative event many years ago, over a decade, but that's neither here nor there. So our project now is to build these 6 Baneblades and get them prepped and ready for this event. This is project 1 of 3 we have to do. The other 2 are some orc projects, which will be really fun and terrifying, but that's for another day. Right now, let's get these bad boys knocked out. So, what do we have here? We have 2 unbuilt Baneblades. These will become Shadowswords. In the back, we have another unbuilt Baneblade kit, which is the Stormblade kit, which is this bad boy. Oh no, That is a basically instead of a shadow sword cannon, it has a giant plasma gun. It's really awesome. So we have 2 of those and 4 shadow swords ready to rock and roll. So these 3 up here are secondhand off eBay, and they have some issues. So let's take a look at what problems they each have and what we need to do to fix them. Okay, so let's start with the first build, Stormblade. There's 2 main issues with it. One, this cannon's illegal. It can't be 3 las cannons like this. It looks cool though, but it can't be legal. I don't think I'm actually going to change it. I think I'm just going to leave it because it's really cool. Drill the barrels out. I'm missing the front tail hooks. And if you get to the back, we're missing the whole power system on the rear. So what should be back here is this. Should be the fuel tanks, the smokestacks, and that should be back there. There is not. We will fix this by adding them. So that's what needs fixed on that one. And we'll get those spare parts from this kit, because this kit in the back has the resin upgrade kit, which we'll show you later. Now, what needs fixed with the plastic shadow sword? Not much, really, honestly. We'll just have to hunt down some side panels. I might have some spares. I might beg, borrow, and steal some spares. And then we can do a little bit of cleanup work, some flashing and some other stuff. Minor construction issue. Other than that, she's ready to go. That should be maybe half an hour worth of work at the most. So, let's look at the last Stormblade. I meant Shadow Sword, my apologies. But, so this is the Forge World Shadow Sword. Quick history lesson. GW used to make only the plastic Baneblade kit. And if you want any upgrades, you'd have to buy resin upgrades separately from Forge World. I'll make a short format video, I'll link it below, explaining all that in greater detail another time. But basically, you buy the plastic Baneblade, you buy a Forge upgrade, you can make the Stormblade, you can make the Shadow Sword, you can make another like 2 other variants, I think there was, in resin. So this one has the mud flaps. There used to be a triangle bar here, was meant to hold the cannon up. I will attempt to rebuild that. We'll see how well that goes. This does have the original, I want to call it guidance system, guidance system. We'll leave that. I've always saw some repairs on this. I bought this thing years ago. So as you can kind of see down there, I've done some green stuff work filling in gaps. We'll continue gap filling as we move over. We can see the heavy bolters upside down. I don't know a way to fix that, honestly, without ripping the whole thing out. And this thing's already being held together by prayers and sheer force of will. So we might just leave it like that. We'll see. When we get to the back here, There's a little bit of damage up here. We'll fix the green stuff. But this is kind of cool. So compare this to the current plastic back end. This is the resin back end. So you have this whole resin like power engine, this system with the engine. Let's take a look. Top plate's a bit different. You can also see the top here. It's slightly different, not by much, but a little. And then you can see the fuel tanks. He has the two massive thick boys. The smokestacks are slightly different, and I guess the shrine, because that's the way to call this, is pretty much the same. I'm not seeing any major differences really in how they were sculpted. So, kind of a neat thing. This one is missing the back mud flap. Honestly, I don't know a way to get another mud flap. I'm gonna see if I can find one, but we might just call that battle damage. Or we might break off the back mud flap. I don't know. You know what? I think we'll just call it battle damage. But I'll make the decision when that time comes. Okay. So now let's build these three. 1, 2, 3 back there. We'll take the spare parts and see if we can cobble together the parts we need for these two Baneblades. Repair this one, fix that one over there, and then we'll get a rocking and a rolling. So let's open this bad boy up. As you can see, there was a lot of sprues that come in this thing. So first things first, we have to start with the base of the model. The base of the model is going to be the left and right track system. These have to be perfect. If you mess these up and you don't get them flush and correct, the whole thing's going to be lopsided and look like crap. Call this your next pro builder tip, but as you do these, the left and the right side look very similar, but they are different. They are mirrored. So make sure you're using the correct pieces from each side, or you will make a mistake I have made once or twice. So after you build both of them, you're going to put them together, going to put the bottom plates on, and clamp down. Or as you can see, you've got the tank body built. It's holding together, perfectly fine dried. There's a little bit of gap, it just didn't get it all the way down there, which hopefully it won't cause any issues when we put the top part on. If not, green stuff is a thing. So we gotta put the turrets on the front and the pieces to here, and we gotta put the main turret on. So let's go build the turret assembly, slap it on, slap on the front pieces, and then we'll put the engine together on the back end, and then she will be good to go. So this is the easy part of the build. There's essentially two top turrets. One's a spinny top and one's a static top. And this is the static one. You basically put this together on top, then you dry fit like with everything else, and then glue it on. As you can see, we're going through here. It explains which pieces go where and in what order. If you want to make the Baneblade or the Shadowswords version or one of the other 6 versions that come in this kit, you can actually make 8 different kits from this one. Alright, so we finished building the top portion. Everything's looking good so far. I did forget, there's supposed to be a cable here, to put that there, but the issue is that cable needs to slot into a slot here and here. Let's take a close look. If you can see how the camera's going to pick it up. There's supposed to be a slot. Yeah, you can see it right there. I put those on backwards, so there's no cable running between here. So we're going to pretend it gets its fuel some other way. Top's looking good. See no major issues. A little bit of a gap right here. We'll green stuff that. And otherwise, she's looking pretty. Let's slap the main gun on, put the machine gun on, put the front cover on, cap, and then back engine compartment. And then she is ready to be painted. This is my favorite part of the build. As you get to the end and you're putting those last little touches on, and so close but yet so far. The turret, like I said earlier, there's multiple ways you can build this. Doing the Shadowsword version, so you can use a Shadowsword barrel. So you have to get the right pieces. I cut off some extra ones on accident, and then you basically glue them together, and then you have the full barrel, and it just slots right into place. It's really simple, really easy, and I love this kit. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have one completed Shadowsword ready to rock and roll. It's all good. I'm going to go back later when I'm done staring at it and see if I mess anything up, or anything needs to be adjusted, or any, stuff to be cleaned up on it, because I've been staring at this for a while. Give my eyes a rest. So let's go build the other one. Boom. And with the power of YouTube sorcery, and magic, we have a second one built. And hang on, it gets even better. Boom, look, more YouTube magic. I now have 3 Shadowswords ready to rock and roll. Yep, all we have to do is get the panels for the 4th Shadowsword, put the back engine pieces on the Stormblade, and then build the last Stormblade, which I saved the hardest for the last. So let's do the other stuff off camera, put together the Plasma one, and then build the last one. So here is the bad boy. This is going to be the Stormblades pattern of the Baneblades. Yeah, it comes in the old Forge World baggie with the Forge World guide and all the fun goodies. And no instruction manual, because this was before instruction manuals were a thing really for GW. They used to just send you stuff and be like, good luck. So, yeah, let's unbox this, unbag it, we'll unbag it, and then we'll see what we got. So let's take a look at what we got. So we have the center of the hull. We have the old fuel kit and back end parts at the back. These are some of the sponson weapons. The left and right side, the rest of the hull, the other left side, and the side panels. So, okay, so we have everything we need. Everything looks to be there. Taking a look at the resiny bits, we have the hull, and we have the plasma gun, which is really very similar to the Warhound plasma cannon, just cut down and without the, I guess, the heat shield, the side panel that's on the Warhound. So that's kind of neat. This is the back panel. You have the top parts here. I'm assuming, yeah, that goes there. Okay, that makes sense. Got to cut these off. I also have to clean out this resin, by the way. For those of you that ever use resin, it has a mold release on it. Need to be cleaned. Dawn dish soap, 10 minutes of scrubbing, or set in Diet Coke for a couple hours. Will take the mold release off, which says something about Diet Coke. So, smokestacks 1 and 2, fuel tank 1 and 2, back panel to hold fuel tank 1 and 2. These things, which I'm assuming go in the back here, like I was messing with, I'm not exactly sure. I don't know what this is. We're going to be honest, I meant to figure this part out. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming it goes somewhere, maybe? I don't know. I'll have to look at some reference pictures, because I don't remember that. I think these are the front, or these might be the back of the mud flaps. We'll take a look in a minute. And then we have a heavy bolter. There was something here, but it looks like broken and I've lost it many moons ago. I don't even know where you mount the heavy bolter on this, so that's kind of weird. And then you have the turret hatch with the commander, which I'm not going to use it for this, but I'm going to keep this for other projects in the future. And the last, and probably least important part of this whole ensemble is the tool guide and how to build resin. It explains what you need, everything, clippers. This is so old you might not be able to recognize these, but these, the old hand saws, they actually used to sell a saw blade like this. That's actually kind of funny. I remember seeing those in years. Talk about assembly, cleaning, and everything else, and the old Imperial armor books. So yeah, that's what this bad boy is. So we're gonna go clean all these off camera. I'm gonna do some research off camera, and then we'll get to building. She is done. The Plasma Baneblade. Let's take a look at her. So fully built. Everything's on here. Do a bit of green stuff work. A lot of heating up stuff in hot water. Lots of super glue was used. Lots of pinning. So real fast. I meant to film it, but got busy and forgot. So I pinned the barrel to the chassis. The tanks on the back are both pinned in, and these have pins in the base. These are too small to pin, and so this is too thin to pin. So everything else is, I mean, is pretty stable as it's gonna be. So I did do some green stuff work. Here there's some gaps, and here there's some gaps, and I forgot to input the fuel lines that go in from the tank to the engine. And now that it's built, it's too late to get them in, so it's going to pretend those exist. I did try to cut them up and do what I could, but yeah, it did not work. And this track kind of bent a little bit, the plastic did, so this looks kind of like it's hanging in there. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it doesn't look as great as it could be. I tried to fix it, there's nothing I can do. The plastic glue set everything melts, I have to break it apart, and it's not going to break this to fix it, so it will do. Okay, let's go prime it. Howdy, y'all. They're done. So now we have 6 fully built Baneblade chassis ready to rock and roll. So we have 4 Shadowswords, 3 plastic ones here on the bottom, 1 resin, 1 up top, and then 2 Stormblades, which are the ones with the plasma cannon in the middle. I couldn't figure out with some on my desk, so I felt stacking them up like a bunch of cheerleaders in a pyramid seemed the best way to do it. Bane cheerleaders, and we'll find a cool name for them later. But point is, though, they're here and they're ready to rock and roll. So now we have to prime them, put the base coat on, and then one by one pick out all the details and do all the fun part. So yay me. Let's get to priming them. I offer you my pyramid of tanks. Fully primed tanks. That took, by the way, 2 GW battle cans. Actually, well, yeah, probably can and 3/4 to prime all these bad boys. Yay me. Let's wrap this video up and then get on to the fun part. Airbrushing all of these bad boys. Thank you all for making it to the end of the video, if you made it this far. That was a long video. Big video. We did a lot. Built and prime 6 tanks, which is a lot. Holy crap, that's a lot of work. Now we have to do the even harder part of painting them all. So the next video, you'll hear from another member of the Nova Open staff, and we will paint them. At time of filming, we are less than a month and a half out, so we have a little bit of time to do a lot of work. So gonna get this shindig going, and I'll see you all soon. Stay safe, y'all. See you on the other side. Yee yee!